Hey, Mr. Blomgren coming at you from the Blomgren Homestead, getting you ready for your United States map test, in which I will give you a blank map of the United States with 25 states labeled with numbers. I will just randomly pick 25 states. I'll give you the names of all the states, and you have to correctly identify the 25 states that I've chosen. So, let's get right to it. You need some mnemonic devices. You need some memory tricks, because if not, you just try to straight out memorize 50 things. It's tough. So I'm going to give you some mnemonic devices that I came up with and some tips that kids in the past also came up with. If they work, awesome, use them. If they don't work, throw them away. Come up with your own. And if you come up with something good, let us know as a class, because I'd love to, use yours next year and even this year. So a lot of them you're going to see today were from former students. All right, let's get right to it, to the West Coast, where we have Washington State. There's Washington, and you can see that kind of black area there kind of looks like, well, it's water. It's water coming in from the Pacific Ocean, and to me, it reminds me of water pouring in the top of a washing machine. So you've opened up the lid, the water's coming in, clothes are coming next. It's the only state that has that. So I just remember Washington, washing machine, looks sort of like a washing machine. All right, you got to use your imagination, but that's how it works. All right, south of there we have the state of Oregon. I know that there's a Oregon sports team known as the Oregon Ducks. I know that ducks like water, so there it is right next to the Pacific Ocean. Oregon Ducks right next to the water. And then coming down we have California. A lot of you already knew California, right on the Pacific coast there. If not, it does look a little like the letter C, so C for California. You can remember it like that. Next to it's Nevada. Nevada's got that pointy edge, sort of like a knife. So I just remember Nevada, knife. That's enough for me to remember it. Up here, the state of Idaho. Idaho's got that weird chimney-looking thing jetting out toward Canada. And it's like, people say, well, why does it have that chimney? And it says, I don't know. So I say, I don't know. Idaho, right? Idaho, I don't know. It's enough to remember it. Next to that, we have the state of Montana. And, of course, when I think Montana, I think Hannah Montana. I think Joe Montana, football player, whatever you want. But there is definitely a silhouetted face there on the west side of Montana. See the nose and the chin. And so I'm picturing, Hannah Montana on a bad day. There she is with her nose and her chin. Hannah Montana, state of Montana. All right, now let's get into these square states everyone gets messed up on. So up top, we got Wyoming. And I picture Wyoming's just kind of walking along, minding his own business, and then he trips, right? Like this state here kind of trips him up. So Wyoming says, hey, why you be tripping me? Okay, why you be tripping me, Wyoming? Because it looks like he kind of got tripped up. Okay, now who's doing the tripping? Utah. Now if you look at Utah, obviously, it's a little bit taller than the state next to it. It's got this funky little thing up here. So all the other states kind of look at it and say, wow, you tall, right? You tall, Utah. So Utah is a little bit taller. Okay, here's something interesting. The only place in the United States where you can be in 4 states at once is right here at the 4 corners. You can literally go there, put your foot right there, and you will be in 4 states at the same time. It's the only place you can do that. So you can be in 4 states at the same time. You, C-A-N, can be in 4 states at once. Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. You can. Arizona also, I'm a fan of Arizona iced tea, and I picture one of those old-fashioned bottle cap removers, and I picture like putting a thing of Arizona iced tea right there in that little bottle cap remover and just popping it off. So for me, Arizona has an Arizona iced tea bottle cap remover. Okay. Here's another thing. Now you go down here, you got our neighbor to the south, Mexico. And here's the Mexico border right here, these 4 states. Okay. Well, you can't just cruise into Mexico. You have to have a passport. You got to have your documentation, right? You can't just cruise into Mexico. You C-A-N-T, can't just walk into Mexico. California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, make up the Mexico border. All right, let's go down to these rectangular states in the middle. We got North Dakota, and of course, hey, what's happening? Get back up there. If you got North Dakota, it's easy because then you got South Dakota, right? So that kind of works out. All right, I'm gonna shift that down there. Then we got Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, as we said before. Okay, so I don't know if how many of you remember Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street? Lives in a trash can and slob. Yeah. So I remember new shoes never kick Oscar's trash. North Dakota, South Dakota, never kick Nebraska, Kansas, Oscar's trash. Oklahoma, Texas. If you don't like that, you can think of Oklahoma as kind of like a sideways okay sign, right? Sort of like a, I don't know, like a thumbs up kind of thing, only sideways. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right, let's move over here. We got Minnesota, and some of you know about the Minnesota Vikings football team. What's on their helmet? Yeah, it's a Viking horn. And this is the only state that's got the Viking horn. So Minnesota Vikings, there's the horn right there. That was easy. Right next to another sports team, Wisconsin. Wisconsin fans, they got that cheese hat they like to wear. So here's the melted cheese right there on the Wisconsin cheese head. Right, Wisconsin cheese head. There's the cheese. All right, let's jump down here. We got Iowa, we got Missouri, we got Arkansas, and Louisiana. M-I-M-A-L. Mimal. Okay. Okay. Or my ice cream melts a lot. Sounds like this is a guy with a funky Viking hat. Here's a shoe with the ice cream dripping off it because my ice cream melts a lot. Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. Over here we got a long skinny state, which is good because the first three letters are long and skinny. I-L-L. Illinois. Not Illinois, no such state. Illinois. I-L-L. Long skinny state. Up here we have Michigan, which is the only state that looks like a mitten. So we got Mittingen, Michigan. Only state that looks like a mitten is Michigan. And what do you stick a mitten in? Your sleeve. You stick it in the end of your sleeve, right? So here's where you stick it, in the end of, or Indiana, in the end of your sleeve. Here's the mitten. Stick it in the end of your sleeve. Next up, we got Ohio, sort of the only round state. Ohio. Then we got, of course, the chicken leg, because this is Kentucky, and this is Kentucky Fried Chicken right here, right? So KFC looks like KFC. Kentucky looks like a chicken leg. Then we got Tennessee, which some girl last year said, says, you know what, it looks kind of like a tennis net. So when I see it, I see tennis. Tennessee. Okay, down here we've got Florida. Most of you knew that. Looks kind of like a sideways letter F. To me, it looks kind of like a pistol, like it's pointing down into the ocean. And what goes in a pistol? Bullets. And what do you put the bullets in? A magazine. A mag. So here's your pistol, and here's your mag. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. It makes the mag for the Florida pistol. All right, East Coast, it's all about the ladies. Going right up the coast here, we got a whole bunch of ladies' names. We got South Carolina, North Carolina, Carolina Twins, Virginia, and her cousin, West Virginia, Maryland, Maryland, right? All over here, all up and down the coast, it's all about ladies' names. You just got to kind of keep them straight, which is pretty easy because if you know South Carolina, you're going to know North Carolina. If you know Virginia, you're going to know West Virginia. Okay? Maryland, it's all good. All right, Delaware. Delaware is that little D-shaped state right there. It's pretty small. Sort of looks like the letter D, right? Directly above it, New Jersey. You know, a jersey is a big old long shirt. And I kind of picture someone wearing a New Jersey, and it's kind of like going over their butt there. You know, they're walking along wearing that New Jersey, and they're just kind of like slumped over, facing toward Pennsylvania, wearing your New Jersey. Pennsylvania, some people say it looks like a piece of paper, and you need a pen to write on your paper. Some people say it looks like a Hershey's candy bar with a bite taken out of it, and they know that Hershey's theme park is in Pennsylvania, so If that works for you, awesome. Above that, you got New York. Please, I hope you know New York, unless you just moved here from somewhere else. That's New York. That's Lake Ontario. That's Canada. All right, little small states. Here we go. Rinky-dinky little state right there. That's Rhode Island. I picture an island as being small. That's the smallest state, smaller than Hawaii. Rhode Island. Then you got Massachusetts. Looks kind of like an elephant's nose, right? With like snot dripping out of it, right? It's pretty disgusting. So when I think of Massachusetts, I think of that elephant about to sneeze, and he's like, where am I? He's like, Massachusetts. And then that snot comes out of his nose. Massachusetts, right? There it is, Massachusetts. Up above that, you got Vermont and New Hampshire. People get them confused. One of them is kind of like an upside down version of the other. Well, it's easy because Vermont looks kind of like the letter V, and if you can know Vermont, you know the other one's got to be New Hampshire. And then up here we got, I don't know, some kids said it looked like Scooby-Doo. I could see it with the ears and the nose. And then I think, all right, who's Scooby-Doo's best friend? Shaggy. And Shaggy's got this shaggy hair. It looks kind of like he's got a mane, right? Don't slip down on me. Right? So if you can remember Scooby-Doo, his best friend is Shaggy, and Shaggy's got a mane, then you know that state's going to be Maine. All right. Two funky states over here, Alaska and Hawaii. They are not connected physically to the rest of the United States. Hawaii is a group of islands. You probably knew that. Way off in the middle of the Pacific. Alaska is way up north of Canada. And oh, by the way, it's over twice as big as Texas. But you would never know it because on most maps, they try to cram it into the corner and it looks like twice as small as Texas. No, Alaska is huge, over twice as big as Texas. All right, there it is, down and dirty and quick. 50 states, I think I hit them all. Again, if it works for you, totally use it. If it doesn't work, totally throw it away. Come up with something better for yourself. And again, if you have something that's really good, go ahead and feel free to share it out with the rest of us. All right? Good luck on your test, and hopefully I'll see you soon out here.